All right, welcome Vanguardians to our second live stream, or what I would like to say, like this is like the go-home edition before the World Qualifiers. Today we have a great panel of people. Well, I see a few that I don't like anymore, but we got a great panel of people. We have the wonderful Brossard, admin of the Cardfight Vanguard Illinois Facebook group. Cardfight are also Future Card Buddy Fight North America. We also have the wonderful Jason Czajkowski. Am I saying that right, Jason?
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, well, something Polish. Also a great member of the team, also admin of the Future Card Buddy Fight North America group. Also being joined here with Mr. Robbie Kohl, who is also a familiar face to many of you. He is the great and all-powerful admin of the Zodiac group. Oh, who's watching the stream while we're also recording? Anyone? No. All right, no, and then we have the wonderful and two additional guests to the stream today. We have the wonderful Kyle Warfield. Kyle, could you tell them your channel that you have? That'd be wonderful.
Scarecrow Kaiser 17.
Awesome. If you guys are not a part of that or watching or seeing his videos, please go and do so. Some great deck profiles are up there. And last but not least, I have the wonderful and very, very talented Mr. Brandon Smith, our previous world champion. From will be 2 years ago. So very excited, and I want you to know, Brandon, you're still my champion.
Hashtag Brandon Smith is still my champion.
Still my champion.
Thank you.
I really why I have the focus on you, Brandon. I'd really like to talk about you for a moment. I sent you guys all the agenda, and I want to talk about one. Basically what you've been doing. You know, I know for a while there you went to a couple of the regionals the second year. You were playing your what is now I believe like your patent Great Nature deck.
Yeah.
We actually got to play you your team. Jason or Blake and I got to play you your team at Ohio.
Yes. Yes.
You played Blake. And we know you did that. We didn't see you at Chicago World, so just kind of want to know what you've been doing since obviously you've been there. You just haven't been doing. I don't think as nearly as much with the Vanguard scene.
Okay, so basically, after I won Worlds, shortly after, I had a little bit of medical problems with my kidney, and I had already put it off a little bit. Kind of a little bit of me being lazy as far as taking care of my health, and a little bit of medical malpractice happened, and so I put it off, and it was like a year. So. It just so happened that the doctors were like, yeah, we got schedules now and we got the machines to do the work and we got to do it right, now. And right now ended up being this year's World Championship Series season. So I had to basically bow out of all the tournament play for this season, all except for Toronto. But I couldn't get a group together to go in time, so we ended up just passing on that also as well. Yes, last year I did play Great Nature. I love the deck. I think the theme was fine, and I felt like the deck.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I think we did.
Maybe you dropped.
Oh boy.
Brandon, if you can hear us, and Jason, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go.
I mean,
it's kind of lagging.
I can hear you guys. Yeah.
He's lagging a bit.
Medic!
Okay, I can hear you guys.
There we go.
All right.
It looks like it's...
You have everyone? Kyle?
Yeah?
Robbie?
Yep.
Jason?
Yep.
Blake?
Aye.
Brandon?
Yep.
Deja vu. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
All right, Brandon, you were talking about Great Natures.
Okay, yeah. So last year I played Great Nature. I felt like it was a good meta call for the tournament. I went X2 in Toronto last year and X1 in Chicago. Came in 13th place. That was pretty much the extent of me being able to travel at that point. So that's what happened last year, and this year basically didn't get a chance to play. We didn't play against Robbie Kohl's team. Shout out to Robbie Kohl. You guys gave us something fierce while we were there. We had a lot of fun, during that event. Vanguard is still the good game that it was. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of game mechanics that are coming out new and that have came out since, and we're going to get into those during this discussion. But that's basically where I've been.
So, question for you: have you updated your Great Nature deck to like the current, like Leo reverse stuff? I guess would be it with the break rides.
Of course, it was basically updated. The list was updated as soon as the set was spoiled.
Okay.
So I was just waiting for the cards.
Will you be updating it to the new Legion now that the promos have been released?
Of course I will. I haven't thought about how yet, but of course I will.
Awesome. Now, what deck are you currently playing? Like, what's your deck that you're playing?
Oh, it's a really personal question.
He's not actually playing any deck right now. Don't let him lie to you.
Did we lose him again?
Yeah, he's contemplating the
Oh
question.
man.
He's thinking long and hard about his answer.
You should have just asked him about the size of his deck.
Oh, jeez.
50 cards, duh!
50 card deck, yo. All right, there we go. Did he go?
Okay.
There we go.
I mean, I guess I could tell you guys. I'm maining Shadows right now. I'm a big fan of the deck.
Robbie Kohl.
Look at Robbie Kohl. Look at Robbie.
Yeah, you guys get out of my deck.
Like a fox in a henhouse right there. Like.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I have never said that I was just a Gold Paladin player. I do love Spectre Duke, but to be fair, I just love everything that Ren plays. So if Ren plays it, I'm gonna play it for sure.
Do you hear that, Bushiroad? Do you hear that? Make me a Nectar, a Brandon Smith deck, please.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's really it's really good to know. I mean, are you excited now for Shadow Paladin Legion?
Of course.
Okay.
I can't wait. I love what the game's been doing, and like we said, we're gonna add some stuff. But
yeah, we're gonna talk. Well, I think what the biggest thing, like with the new mechanics, and like I said, we'll get into it, is just, do you feel the game has changed from a year ago to now?
Of course.
In a good way or in a bad way?
In a good way. And in a bad way for some. Like it depends on your outlook on progression. You know, if you think that you like the way it was last year, then you're gonna not like it as much this year. You know, that's just how it is. But in order for a game to stay fresh, they have to keep changing and evolving. You've seen it with Yu-Gi-Oh! You've seen it with Magic. You'll see it with Vanguard, Dragon Ball Z. Every card game that you can possibly ever play, it has to go through stages of evolution, or else the game will get stale and people will stop playing.
All right.
So, and as far as that goes, that's why I think it's a good thing that the game evolves. Yes, some people are going to say power creep, you know, and but it's definitely a necessity for the game to evolve and become, you know, and stay fresh.
Cool. Do any of the other panel have any questions for Mr. Smith? Wow, quiet crowd. Anyone? All right, I have another question, for Mr. Smith. With you're going to be doing Gunslinger coming up in Chicago, correct?
Yes.
Were you recently asked? Is that something like they always just are like, oh, we got Brandon Smith on speed dial, we're gonna call him up. We're like, let's get you to Chicago right now.
Okay,
Because
so
honestly,
He lives close enough. What are you talking about?
They probably do. They probably go, we're having an event. We're calling up Brandon. Let's go.
yeah. I have a
We've seen
lot
you
of,
there too. We've seen you at the Queen Mary.
yeah, I
when
was
you were
there too.
gunslinging. So, I mean, is that one of those things where they just did I lose him?
No.
He's just stopped. There's just wicked afro / mustache.
We should go call him. He's on the phone, guys.
They're like, you have to stop talking now.
Yeah, right? We're watching the live stream. You have to stop
No
talking
more
about the event.
spoilers.
All right, are we back?
Yeah, I'm back. I can still hear you.
We own your opinions.
We were asking basically how do they do that? They were like, oh, we got the Nationals coming up. We need to call Brandon Smith.
No, we're always in talks. Me, JD, Jonathan, just everybody. We're always in talks about different events, what we can do to change the game and make it better. You know, and keep people interested. I also helped them out, Bushy Road at I believe it's Gen Con. and did a lot of demo for Buddy Fight and White Swords. So I'm always like behind the scenes somewhere doing something, but not necessarily on the main screen. So they, every so often they're like, we got to get you out of the back cave and, come do something for us.
I have a question for you, Brandon.
Sure.
Oh no.
When are we gonna have our little rematch that we're supposed to have? That was issued by me like 6 months ago.
Great Natures versus your Shadow Paladin.
Yep.
You don't want to have that match with me.
Damn.
I just want to murder you. Come on, Brandon.
Are you going to be in Chicago?
Gunslinger Chicago.
Yeah, I'll be. Well, not for the championship, unfortunately, but for the ARG.
I believe Robbie just shot Brandon to Mortal Kombat.
Wait.
All right, so I'm definitely making it a point
No,
to be
I won't be there for Chicago, unfortunately.
You'll
Actually,
be at ARG, though.
Yeah, I'll be there for ARG. Are you going?
Yeah, of course I'm going to be there. It's Vanguard. It's the return of Brandon Smith.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Hear that, people? Yeah, you heard it first. I can't wait.
Brandon Smith is still my champion.
No. This is Brandon Smith, my champion. Actually, one final question about that, Brandon.
All
What
right.
do you think of the last world champion, Emil Stewart? What was going through your mind with all these things that all these controversies? Like, was this like how dare you defy the game that I created and made famous, or is this like I'm going to go to Germany and play you and take back my title?
All right. So So after I won Worlds, the first thing that happened immediately was I was thinking like, what can I do more? What can I, how can I further a career in this game? And I was like, I went undefeated in Toronto, went undefeated at Nationals, and did a lot of great things as far as playing and won Worlds, and all of that was great.
God damn it!
Whenever he gets going.
It's the good part, yeah. It's like right when there's like.
Well, he does need to stop downloading something in the background while he's on Google Hangouts.
Stop downloading the porn, Brandon.
All right, I can hear you guys.
There we go. Brandon, you're back.
All right. Sorry about that.
Are you trying to play League?
All right, so basically, I was like, if there was somebody that was like on equal par, with equal statistics and equal, footing, then I would like enjoy the game to play against somebody that would, had basically the same standards, caliber, yeah. So at first I was like, this would actually be sweet, that we got a new world champion. That'd be really, really cool. Then maybe we can do some gunslinger events. Maybe we might fly out and play each other. There'll be some feature matches somewhere along the lines. But then he basically, I don't really have to say exactly everything he did, but basically he became, I guess, a thief, a cheater, whatever.
Phony! A big fat phony!
Yeah.
Yeah, the controversy was thick. It happened so. Worlds, bam, it's cheated. Bam.
People love drama. What are you talking about?
Well, controversy creates cash. It's a proven thing. But this guy, I think he had the world in his hand, to do what you kind of did, and then just dropped the ball so badly. And I lost him. Anyone else agree with that or not agree with that?
I agree.
I mean, I just
I haven't
think
heard anything about him.
Look at that fro he's got. Jeez.
That's what I said. It always stops at the same pose too. I really like that. It's over. There's Brandon. Oh. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Smith, for I hope I'm not putting you on the spot.
Oh no.
I don't think Bushiroad's watching this live stream yet. So.
I've got another question for Smith.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so Brandon, have you considered being a writer and doing a blog kind of style thing? At least trying to improve the game and stuff like that, through recommending something like that to Bushiroad, to do articles or something. Or what's your general thoughts on something similar to that?
Okay, so there's a lot of things that I think that can improve the game. I'm not. While I am very public and I love to be out in the public. Behind the scenes, I'm a very quiet person, so I don't like to go out and do a lot like that. I do think that a blog would be, really sweet. I started to do YouTube a little bit also, but it's I can't really teach everybody what I know exactly without being hands-on and actually there with you. So I didn't want my YouTube to be basically just dry information. So I just stopped with that also. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more on all fronts coming back this time. However, that's just how I felt. I didn't want and then there were some haters, so I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, one of your haters is going to be on my show next week or 2 weeks from now. I hope you can join us for that.
Yeah, actually, I actually like Alice. And,
I didn't say names.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I actually like her, but she quite possibly might be the most controversial player in Cardfight Vanguard. And I think she's very interesting. The way that she thinks is definitely set aside from the way that I think, and I think it would be good to have us both talk. She's probably going to argue that Vanguard is all statistics and stuff like that, but as we can, if you look at my Worlds matchup where he hit 4 heal triggers after being at 4 or 5 damage, it was just ridiculous. There's no statistics behind that. I was thinking, man, I wish Alice was here right now so I can just be like, that shouldn't happen. I should win this, and now I'm probably going to lose.
So, which one right would you consider Alice the Patrick Hoban in terms of this game, or would you consider yourself the Patrick Hoban?
All right, hold on 1 second. 1 second. 1
He's gonna freeze right here. I can see
Okay. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. All right, so I have mad respect. For Patrick Hoban, right? He's a really good Yu-Gi-Oh player, and as far as holding his own, he can do that. But I'm not the type of person that takes credit for adding up to and then call it my deck, my card. Sure he did. But as far as Vanguard is concerned, I don't think there is a such thing as a Patrick Hoban quite yet.
I would agree.
There is nobody who just says all right, well, that deck list was pretty sweet, but let's play a 7th draw trigger and watch me win. There's nobody like that right now. It looks like the first season and second season was all. So, in the third season, it's looking, quite the same. The field is very diversified, and there's not a lot of copycatters, and Patrick Hoban basically got comfortable on the deck also at the end of last season, which is why he probably didn't win, but he just got comfortable with dragons and swore by it. So I don't think that there's a necessary a Patrick Hoban, but if I was to compare Alice to or myself to a player, that's kind of hard. I don't know who I can compare Alice to because I haven't heard of her playing in it.
We'll get back to Brandon Technical Smith in a minute here. There we go. He can hear us, he just can't comment.
I can hear you guys.
So no figure in the community from Yu-Gi-Oh to Vanguard is like an Alice character right now.
No, because she doesn't play the game. She's a very good theory crafter, but she hasn't played the game. And then her excuses for not playing the game is she thinks that Vanguard is so unfair, or the mechanics don't add up to her numbers or something. I don't know.
Right about it.
She
why waste your time?
Sort of sounds like a female, Yu-Gi-Oh player, things she says.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Alice until a couple of days ago. I don't even know who the hell she is.
Yeah, you didn't. He's like, who the hell is she? And I'm like, Alice, she games. Alice was the first blogger. She was the original. Yeah. She I don't know. She wrote articles about you, Brandon. I mean, there was this whole thing where she was like the first one, and then like Vanguard Pro or whatever it was started up, and like, but she was like the first one. She was really like the one that was all about numbers. So
Ooh, she wrote articles about you, Brandon. Ooh.
Yeah.
you gotta remember that, like,
You should read the Brandon Smith fan fiction that people write.
All right, so last final thing, Brandon. Who are you in the Yu-Gi-Oh community?
Okay, so if I was in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, I would probably have to say that I'm myself.
Yeah, he's
Myself. I had, like 5 or 6 YCS tops and 2 national tops, and I'm just me. I'm humble, happy me. I don't like to lose, but at the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to cheat somebody else. So, and I don't know many pro players that can claim that nowadays. So I'm just me.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. You're very humble, sir. Let's talk about we discussed it just a little bit because Mr. Kohl brought it up. Let's talk about ARG. Let's talk about what they are doing, what they're trying to do, what they have done for this game and in this community. Anyone want to begin with their thoughts on that? So quiet, guys.
I say Jonathan starts us off here.
Okay. So my thoughts on the whole thing, truly begin with ARG. I attended their event back in January in Indianapolis. They had a 28-person event. Most of us were from Chicago. It was pretty much a Chicago, like a big regional or a big store qualifier kind of felt like. And then that was it. Like, that was like the last one I heard of it all in this area. Like, I mean, it kind of like died down. I know they said they were doing a couple more here and there. And when they announced that they were like renewing this thing, I feel like the state of the game, regardless if it's ARG or someone else, this is really good to get people excited about competitive tournament play because we really lack a consistent big name store or big name event other than Bushiroad itself. And Bushiroad's not enough because obviously people hate the best of one. People do not like the 20-minute rounds now. There's more issues, I think, with things like that, where ARG is kind of like that, like, saving grace that we need to kind of balance that, where people can actually now go to these events, pay a little bit of money to get packs is really what it is, and still, I guess, still have, like, that competitive scene that we lack. I mean, thoughts? Anyone chime in?
So, ARG did run some Kaijudo events with their Yu-Gi-Oh events at one point in time, and we all know what happened to Kaijudo.
Are you
honestly,
foreshadowing a little bit, Jason?
No, I don't think that's going to happen to Vanguard, but honestly, ARG is the Star City Games of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's exactly what they're trying to copy, that's exactly what they're trying to imitate, and there's nothing wrong with that, that's fine. I'm glad that there's a store out there that's doing it. I'm glad that they're bringing Vanguard back. But they have to be consistent. If they're going to do this once a year kind of thing, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, throwing money at a one-time tournament isn't going to bring people to the game. We want to develop a community. We want to keep bringing people into the game, and we want to keep people playing the game. So there's a lot of other ways to do that. I mean, having the ARG tournaments help, but there's still.
You have to remember Chicago is going to be the testing pot for this to see if Jim actually wants to continue to do this, and I'm pretty sure it's going to pull in decent numbers. I mean, hell, to be honest with you, I'm happy if it even gets 30 to 40 people because I'd still consider that a decent turnout, considering the ARGs have been getting upwards of 200 people for Yu-Gi. And I mean, with it being an initial test run, I think it'll be good, and with them pulling more numbers. I mean, the first couple are going to be relatively, decent sized, give or take. But once people start to get the hang of it and word gets out a little bit more, I mean, we have to build the network of, I keep telling Jonathan this, the Vanguard community is not as networked as the Yu-Gi-Oh community, not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I know very few people in this community. I mean, I can obviously bug Brandon Smith at any time, or Jonathan, but I mean, hell, there are people in this community that don't even know who they are, and that's fucked up, in my opinion. But I mean, the general point is like until the community like forms the proper network, I mean, we're gonna have to like hit things a little bit harder than normal to try to figure things out. But once word gets out that ARG is doing more shit like this in general over the course of probably 2 to 3 months, I think things will get better. But Chicago's gonna be the test run. I mean, I wouldn't expect amazing results from it. But once people are like, well, hey, I have Vanguard laying around and I'm gonna go to ARG for Saturday for Yugi. Well, why not stay for Sunday and play Vanguard too? Kind of thing.
But do you think that hurts? Do you think that hurts having Yu-Gi-Oh and Vanguard at like the same time? Like
they're not having them at the same time. Yu-Gi-Oh is Saturday and Vanguard is Sunday.
Okay. Well, sorry. Well, they did it differently when I was in Indianapolis. It was at like.
Well, yeah, because that was a one-day Wednesday.
Yeah. So, good to know. Real quick, I want to ask Kyle his thoughts on this too. But I got a couple of shout-outs here to Luke Stevens and things like that. People, we will answer your questions. I'm trying to just get the focus going on here, so thank you for watching right now, though. Al, your thoughts on ARG?
Something me and Brandon have talked about before is that with just Bushiroad in their 2 seasons, they have like a year of tournaments. We have never felt like there was enough tournaments going on. Like, it feels like there's really long dry spells when it comes to competitive Vanguard play, because it's just like the fall and the springtime, then you have like these big gaps where you're like, you'll go to a tournament and you'll do okay, you'll like lose on the bubble, you're like, man, I'd really like to go to another tournament, but I gotta wait like forever before the next one comes up. So like ARG starting up stuff is obviously something I'd like to see like help fix that problem.
We haven't had that problem in Chicago.
Do you think they should kind of take it one step further in terms of Vanguard and kind of do like a more major tournament? If you like top 4, you get your invite to like a championship near the end of the year kind of thing? Or do you think they should just continue to start small and work their way up kind of thing?
Well, what they should do is do the little ones like they're doing right now, where it's Chicago, I think Washington or something like that. And then they should have like a regional, like this is encompasses the West, the Midwest, the East Coast. And
they do the first year with teams.
But teams was shops, and then it went to one place. It was a little bit different. Like this would, I mean, that's how I remember Yu-Gi-Oh was. Okay, you get your invite. A lot of people got their invite. Like, what was it? How many the old regionals used to like top 16 got invite? Or is it always top 8?
But you also have to remember it's like 20. If you have 20 ARG points, you could qualify for the qualifier at the end of the year for Yu-Gi. So. What are you thinking, Brandon?
Just thinking he needs a haircut.
I think that ARG having bigger tournaments with bigger prizes would be good for the game. However, Jim McMahon, as a businessman, doesn't want to lose, so he's going to want to run out a couple test run tournaments, which is understandable. But I think the end game for ARG is if they really want to draw Vanguardians out to play, then what they're going to want to do is what Vanguardians are going to want is commitment. And if we get commitment, then we'll turn out in big numbers, similar to regionals. There's no reason why we can have a 200, 300 person regionals in Toronto or, Atlanta, but we can't have a 200, 300 person showing in Chicago for ARG. The only thing that, differs is, sure, ARG is going to charge you a little bit of money to play, but that's fine if there's
right with the good part. There we go. All right, you gotta finish that last part. It completely cut out.
Okay.
Cut out again.
All right, so tell me when you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, so basically, people want commitment, and and we can get 200 or 300 people to come to Chicago or Ohio, anywhere, as long as there's an end game. There's something that you can, a recognition that you can get from it. It doesn't matter if you're the best player in Ma's basement or Pop's basement, but but you want like a little bit of recognition for being good. You know, it makes you feel good as a player that you accomplished something. I think ARG has the platform, or at least the beginning platform, to do that.
All right, Mr. Blake, you're the last one to speak on ARG.
Me? They need to stop having them when I'm away at school.
Yeah. Nothing?
Come back. You got a car now.
I don't know.
The
I mean,
importance of like when you look at Japan, they have all these kinds of tournaments. We get results all the time for these different tournaments. They have female-only tournaments. I mean, like, there are all kinds of tournaments, and we have one tournament, really, right now. That's all we have.
Do you understand that you can go to Akihabara and play in 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments a day?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's awesome if you love the game. I mean, we lack that here. We hardly can get locals to launch as it is sometimes.
They have lots of people in a very tiny space.
Yes.
And they all play card games.
Yes.
Like if you could, you know, if the New York City, everyone in New York City played card games, then yeah, you could do the same thing. But it doesn't happen.
That's true.
We need more EGR events.
We need more events like that. I mean, like, what about other big name shops should look to do something like that? Like, I feel like that trend that should be start going with. All right. Anyone else?
Let's wait for TCG player to start doing it.
One day, I hope they do. Like, I mean, like, they should. Everyone should start making money, and there's no reason why TCG, when they do their events, shouldn't try to expand and add other things.
Jason, I'm waiting for the Mint to do something big.
Oh boy. One day. All right. Now that we've talked about these big tournaments, let's talk about the big tournament, the World Championship that's coming up here in a few weeks. What do we got? Like 2 weeks?
I mean, they could
we're gonna be a week. Yeah, we're about 2 weeks out. Just a few days short of 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, I just emailed JD telling him to just send me first place prize now. But
drop you from the call. What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, like, have you guys been reading the deck list? Have you guys been seeing what's been being played? Like, any thoughts? Anything shockers? Like any decks that are out there that you just totally weren't expecting?
No, but I do think we're going to see a huge turn of events when said EV11 comes out at the end of this week. Me and Jason were talking earlier with the Revengers coming out, man. That's going to dominate.
Yeah, with the Legion.
Yeah, EV11 is going to dominate the tournament.
We're going to see a little bit of the Minerva combo with the Genesis Legion. That's going to be deadly as well.
Yep.
I mean, is that like something like? Do you think it's fair though to do that at this point in the game, like where we've spent where we've just got 15, set 15, in Chicago? That was the first weekend you could use it, and then a couple more qualifiers, and now we're taking a few week break, and now we're going to be adding Legion, and a meta that technically didn't even have it.
Well, people who haven't been practicing for it are going to be in for a surprise, but you know, all these people who have qualified for this tournament are, you know, quality players. I'm sure that they know what is coming out and are aware of it, and I'm sure practicing against it. If they don't have the money to either buy new decks to play it, or they are very comfortable with the deck that they're playing and they want to continue playing it, then I'm sure that they've been practicing for it. You know, I'd be surprised if they weren't.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, like, you have 4. I guess you also have trial decks.
Yes.
That are coming out. I mean, like, there's like Gold Paladin, Link Joker, Royals who have Seekers, and they got Support and Fighters Collection.
Yes.
Narukami, which is actually a really good Legion, and the big grand daddy of them all, Shadows and Genesis. Like, we're the most supported. I mean, like, are we just going to strictly see, like we saw it last year in the Worlds, all Narukami and one, like, Nova Grappler? Are we going to see, like, all Shadows and one Genesis?
I don't know.
Genesis deck there.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Genesis deck isn't going to be in the top.
Oh, why not? I mean, the deck is really good.
I'm just eating my words right now. I'm giving you something to tease me about so I can stop hearing about perfect cards in the damage zone.
Alright, guys, it's highly unlikely you'll get 2 perfect cards in the damage zone.
Numbers isn't my thing. Brandon, your opinion? You're awfully quiet.
Oh, I'm just thinking about everything.
Well, like, do you, Brandon? I mean, like, you obviously knew the meta. You knew things coming up. Do you think we're gonna just see a sea of Shadow Paladins? Do you think we're gonna see a sea of like strictly Genesis Legion / everything else Legion?
Basically, yes. I think the Shadow Paladins is very, very, very strong. Just like at all national events, you know, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, the good players are going to look at what decks can do, how strong decks are, and Shadow Paladins getting like major game changers that close to the actual event is definitely gonna change what people play, as far as what they plan on playing.
Okay.
I mean, anybody. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say anybody who's played on areas played against Shadows with the Abyss Dragon. They know what's coming. They know how it's gonna.
That deck, it is
You
so.
played it again this morning.
It's consistent. It deck thins. The restand is ridiculous because you're not really losing anything. Like, yes, you are losing 3 from the field, but when you drive check and you can get 4 cards and possible draw triggers, I mean, the plus is just so there. It's
on top of that, with that Mana Crisis card, where the second it's called, it throws another on the field. That's adding another card because you don't have to throw one out of your hand or call another to the field or something.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I'm scared of that match because like every time playing it on area, it's just one of those decks where your opponent just can just be sacky and it's not even like because it's just that day. It's just because that deck is that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad enough with Raging Form, but now you're adding ability to put cards back in, ability to counterblast for 1 and retire a grade 1 or less. Like, it's just very powerful from both fronts.
I think the biggest thing we're going to see that's going to be the game changer, honestly, with Legion and its own, is the fact you're able to throw 4 triggers right back into the deck. Because unless you play Legion at this moment, only a few decks are going to be able to do that. And those 4 triggers can make the whole difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much like Legion, please, just so play Legion no matter what deck it is to get your guard back. I mean, the game does change drastically with Legion.
Bushy Road, give me my Nova Grappler Legion, damn it.
Soon. Kyle, are you coming to ARG, you said, or not?
I'm going to try to. I'm pretty sure I'll be there.
Will you be running Shadow Paladin Legion, or will you be running Legion
That
or
would
something else?
probably... I'm not going to lie. I'll probably show up playing Shadow Paladin Abyss Legion. Like we already know how strong Raging Form was to begin with, and now we have like almost like Raging Form 2.0.
Exactly.
All right. So what's so I mean we talked about like worlds. Let's just go with this. What deck do you think is going to win? Like what deck is going to come out on top?
You're asking me?
Anyone tell me what deck they literally get to see. What,
Are you talking Chicago or...
Oh, sorry. No, because the worlds will change. There'll be new decks.
Yeah.
Let's talk Chicago. World National Championship. What deck will come out on top as first?
I'm thinking Abyss. Not even going to lie. I think it's Abyss.
Mr. Smith?
As far as decks or deck lists?
I would say like deck, like Shadow, Nova.
Yeah, it'll be Shadows.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna try to put out a list this time. Last nationals, while I didn't participate and play, a couple of my deck lists did get to the top tables and also make it to Japan. So I'm definitely gonna put out a list for Shadows that I think that I would play. And hopefully I can, get another deck to go to the to Japan. That's.
Where do you put these lists out? Do you tweet them? I mean, do you post them up on YouTube? You said you don't write a blog. So where are people getting these lists? You have to contact you personally.
We have lost him. I think we lost him.
Back massage or full body.
A happy ending.
Oh, John, that's your.
Whoa, John, we don't want to know about
Service with a smile, right?
We couldn't we didn't hear where you put your list. Where do you upload it?
That was intentional.
Okay, so I don't put my list on websites at all. I did it once, and people like flamed and said, "Oh, this is bad," and I was just like, "Whatever."
How dare they?
This is what I won with. I mean, whatever. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for you. But I actually build lists play testing, and I met with Gabriel Espinosa, the Mexican two-time national champ, and his friend, and last year at the national championship, and that's where he got my list. Was actually there through the side duels. He played me. He asked me what I thought was the best deck. I told him what I thought was good and had good matchups for the time, and he made it to Japan.
Nice.
I don't necessarily put it out, but if you play me, I'll definitely share the list. I encourage people to be innovative, but it does give me a good feeling when my deck makes it to the top tables.
Wonderful. Kyle, will you be doing some deck profiles on your channel of Shadow Paladin Abyss decks?
Yeah, I've been really slow lately with life because of getting married, moving, school. And I'm probably going to be putting out a lot more videos once I'm more settled into my apartment. I just got internet a couple days ago. But, yeah, I'm going to be... Legion changes things a lot.
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah. So you're gonna... Are you taking Shadows to win Chicago?
That's what I'm probably going to think will win Chicago.
All right. Jason? What do you think is going to win Chicago?
Well, I don't want to just be on the Shadow train, even though I said I was 5 minutes ago when I said it's pretty much going to wreck Chicago and be all the top lists. But so let's go with something else. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what will win. I'm going to tell you what I would personally like to win.
Okay.
And that would be Scarlet Witch Coco and Tom.
Wow.
That would make some people very happy.
Tom wins games, but I don't think he wins games anymore. He got retired.
Coming up.
No. You know what? I think. If Shadows doesn't top, I bet you we'll still see a lot of Bermudas being played. The duo deck, I think, is probably still strong, and people are still going to be sticking with it, sticking with their lollies. You can't give up your lollies. So yeah, that's what it is.
Here's a question. For everyone who said Shadows, do you think the alternate from Abyss is going to be Raging Form or the Break Ride? The other grade 3, because I've seen both and both work very well.
I haven't said my opinion, so I can't answer this.
Oh, my bad.
The other thing with set 11 is we start to get the Shadow Paladin witches, right? They're getting support in set EB11, but I don't think they have. Nasty. I don't think they have full support though.
They're just not nearly as nasty as the Reef Stand. They're good. They make you deck thing your triggers, but again, in a deck that can shuffle them back in, if you get the right hand, that's not an issue.
Exactly.
Again, Abyss can sack the Revenger triggers to restand. So, it's not. You're not. The mirror match kind of would be decent to a degree. I honestly think Shadow Paladins are going to be there. I think they're going to be one of the top decks, but I'm going to take Genesis to win it all. I think what you're going to see is the ability not to be able to guard with Grade 1s. I think the ability to get a crit, and the ability to constantly be putting stuff into the soul to fuel their effects is just too good. It's if you run 12 crit, it's scary. It's one of those decks that I think people are just going to be underestimating, hands down.
You already heard me do it.
In best of 1 format, you can make your opponent not guard at 4 damage, and you crit. Game.
Let's just hope he's not like my last area opponent and do all that high-tech stuff, break ride, go through all that crap, and then forget the Legion. All the trouble, put 6 cards in the soul, but did the Blessed Owl, beefed up his Vanguard all he could, and then he attacks me with the rear guard, and then he goes, oh shit, and I go, yep, you done fucked up, Ron.
That's when your opponent leaves the game.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. All right. All right. Next thing.
Get you on the way out.
All right. Let's discuss the set 16 and set 17. What they did to us in the United States.
They bent us over and said, "Take it."
Yeah, I was really disappointed.
Why were you disappointed? Because you got two people who were really bent over and screwed on this whole set.
Not in a good way. Like, they didn't even buy us dinner first.
I was honestly really looking forward to getting Musketeers like as soon as possible. I really like Musketeers. Like, it's a really fun, like, technical deck, and like it deck thins like so well.
I love it. I love it. That's exactly why. Musketeers are my bread and butter right now, so I definitely think they hosed us over so badly with that. Brandon, what are your thoughts on the deck? They basically put the movie booster into set 16. Like, they absorbed it.
It's all in the 16. I thought they said they spread.
It's not, all, but like the big stuff. Like, we got Gold Paladins and Seekers and all that, or not Gold Paladins.
Leaders.
Yeah, all that stuff is now in set 16, which they were like, oh, that's done to prevent or to catch us up. Why?
Prominence glare.
But why didn't they go, here's a little bit of this, here's a little bit of that? Why did they have to remove clans in order to balance it? Because now Link Joker's in both sides.
I think, honestly, they were scared that, because they always do stuff to make it so our meta doesn't match the same thing that happens in Japan. And as we all saw, the second 16 was released in Japan. Nova's fucking took over for a little bit with Cat Butler. And I think they wanted... Exactly, and I think they wanted to avoid that, and that's why they switched them in and out, because Sinbuster and Mega Flare was taking over the meta for a while.
Yep, I can agree with that. I believe that that's partially the reason. I believe that that's partially the reason why, to begin with, in the game, that our sets didn't come out in chronological order, was to prevent decks from just being net decked, but also in addition, that we would have to play an entirely different meta.
Yeah, I mean, look how long it took us just to get set 5 because of Dote.
Yeah,
right.
Dote was... I mean, they
know everyone would have invested in Dote and never bought another goddamn pack in their lives.
Pretty much.
Right,
That's what would have happened. I mean, like, when you can see the future coming, you can plan financially for what's coming out, and you can say, oh, okay, skip, I'll wait for this, like, you know, unless you just can't wait. But there are a lot of people who obviously don't have a lot of money to sink into the game, so this whole financial future planning works out for them for the best.
Exactly.
Monies.
What else about set 16, set 17? There was Do you feel that like with the combination that they're doing, do you feel like they're really catching? Like, are we gonna be joining Japan with their meta though? Like the way they're releasing product. Obviously, in a few weeks, 3 trial decks, 2 extra boosters, and right after that we get set 16 that now has more stuff into it. Set 17 has more stuff into it. Do you feel like we are gonna get synced up with Japan's meta? They promised us, but like, how are they gonna do it? Like, I just don't feel like there's that, like it's there yet.
I feel it. Go ahead, Kyle.
I feel the same way, like as you're saying, John, that like it looks like it will be, but I feel like it's going to take longer than it actually seems like it will.
Yep.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I want us to be on par with the meta of Japan, because like I feel like the way card prices work, and I look at it from the dollar point, we know what cards are good and bad. We know before, so everyone's gonna buy Doge, or whatever they call them. Like, that's a money card. Now, if we had the cards all come out at once, we'd be like, oh, well, let's play test this, let's try this, let's see if this works. Like, you invest into the set. Like, it's actually worth buying singles and things because you know what's there. Right now, we know what decks are gonna win, like, or what mechanics we need to use, or what things we need to do. Like, there's not a whole lot of variety.
It's all the financial thing again. I mean, you can skip buying a box of a set if you know everything's crap except for one card. And you buy the single. And
on top of that, Bushiroad is trying to catch us up. So another thing is they need to stop screwing with the orders and stuff and what they're doing with it. They're so scared we're going to equal Japan's meta. But look, we didn't use Descendant once. when that came out in 10. They were so worried about that being big.
Well, not true. Look at Worlds. Worlds had seven Narakamis.
I'm not saying
Naraka
Narukami, I'm saying Descendant. They were so worried about Descendant being the big guy.
Oh, but
They need to be
again,
more worried
before
about
that
him.
even like wasn't they? No, my God. When they did that though, when they were worried about Descendant, I mean that's why the set came out later, and still look what happened. Worlds was dominated by 7 Narukami decks.
Exactly.
It wasn't even like we're gonna just. They should have just limited him. They should have flat out said when the set comes out, guess what? You get 2 of him. It should never have changed.
It felt like the Narukami decks that were winning, though, were still looking like Japan builds. Like, people were still running, like, Gauntlet Buster, the Break Ride, and Descendant, though. It wasn't just, like... I didn't feel like it was all, like, 4 Descendants, 4 Break Ride, or whatever.
It was exactly that. People gonna net deck.
Yep.
I mean, like, when you look at one of the tournaments just recently, one of the qualifiers, Narukami was the most played clan. Like, they were running that deck. They were running Tempest Bolt, the Break Ride, and Descendant. And it was because
Is that the one where they took second with Narukami?
I think it was. It was not Malaysia. It was
I thought it was like Mexico or.
Oh, it could have been them. Yeah, I haven't looked at all the deck lists in a long time, but it's like when their number 1 clan is Narukami, a clan that technically hasn't been on our radar since set 12 or 10, 12. Right in there, 11. It's been a while since they really have been dominant, like where they just win all the time. It's not happening anymore.
Yeah, I think they topped like one of the first regionals, and then I haven't seen them since until like they got second place. I think the second place deck was like 4 Descendant, 4 Gauntlet Buster.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those decks where like I think it's always very good. It's always very scary, but even now when they got the new stuff coming out with Brawlers, it's still not deemed that great. You know what I mean? Like that deck is still not deemed that great. So like just to see people playing it like at this level for the rush or whatever they say it's interesting. It really is.
Exactly.
Clearly, everything coming out is being overshadowed. Dun-dun-dun.
Oh, don't you have a... Yeah. There we go. Thank you. Next thing on our agenda here. We discussing the meta. We're getting caught up. Like, Jason, do you think it's a good thing we're getting caught up? Like, would you as a player who I know kind of just plays what wins, are you in that mode where maybe the game's exciting again? Where it's like, okay, I can actually deem a meta. Like, I can create the meta.
Yeah, having kind of like Buddy Fight, the thing that's really unique about Buddy Fight for Bushiroad games is the fact that it's simultaneously released, between the United States and Japan. Like, they made that very clear. They wanted, you see cards on the TV show, and then the cards get released at the same time for everyone. So we don't have, people are constantly defining the meta in the game, for the United States. So with us getting caught up for Vanguard, I think that's a great thing. And if they were to get to a point where simultaneous release would happen, I mean, isn't everyone's goal simultaneous release while I'm talking about that? But, all right, some people got that one. Anyway,
I got it.
Okay, I missed it.
But yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing. Is like if we were on a simultaneous release with the G stuff coming out, like that would be awesome. That would be the best thing they could do for the game, and then that would make people have to invest in the boxes. Find out what's good. I mean, yeah, you can see what's coming out in previews, and you can do as much playtesting with the preview stuff as you can. But I mean, when the set's here on your doorstep the day it's released, and you don't know what's all in the set, or you only found out a couple days before, then you're going to be more inclined to buy the boxes, and I think that would stimulate the game for sure. Like, I mean, if Buddy Fight had more people playing the game, then there would be more boxes bought and more stuff, because we don't know what's good in a box. Yeah. That's why you buy the box,
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's what I...
Interesting. Mr. Smith?
I can agree with that. Simultaneous release is something that, everybody wants.
Always on the good part.
I feel like he's just doing this to troll me. I feel like
He's actually like not losing us. He's just freezing and not moving to trick us.
I don't want them to have a soundbite of me saying something. So, all right, Mr. Smith, are you back?
I think so.
Okay. So, simultaneous release.
Okay, so the only game that has simultaneous release besides Buddy Fight is Magic the Gathering. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Promised it forever ago. It ain't gonna happen. They realized that I don't know. Okay, so I think Yu-Gi-Oh's reasoning behind it is if we have simultaneous release, why won't players be able to use the Japanese cards? And these cards are a lot cheaper. Like, what becomes your reason that you can't use foreign cards if everything comes out at the same time? So that's probably going to be a problem with anything that's simultaneous release. Like in Magic, you can use foreign cards. I'm pretty sure in Buddy Fight, people won't care as long as you have a translation of what the foreign card.
I don't think Bushiroad official will allow that. I mean, Bushiroad hasn't.
I 100% agree with you. However, what would be their reasoning for not allowing it?
Yeah, there's no good reason other than it's a kid's game and they should be able to read the card in their own native language.
Well, they did make the ruling recently. You and Jason, we talked about this. There's some level of tournament play that you are allowed to use foreign cards as long as you have spoken to the judge and you have translation or proper translation of the card.
Yeah, it's called store level.
Yeah, but like, is that the step forward we need, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's a gateway. And it's in the official rules that you can use foreign if you're, at a level 1 tournament if the judge allows. So that it is definitely a step forward into that direction. And, I mean, it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has good reason not to do it because the rarity changes drastically from
that
the Japanese.
TCG originals affect it too, I think.
Where in Vanguard the rarity stays the same.
What do you mean the TCG, Kyle? Sorry, go back.
Well, because in Japan they come out before the English does, so you got like that market, and people obviously pay attention to it. But it changes when it comes to English because you are also introducing all these TCG exclusives that just completely might change the way people are gonna buy it. Like if no one was gonna buy it. But now you have, because it wasn't good in Japan, but then you throw in these TCG exclusives, it can add more interest to it. It's like Konami's way of making sure they're gonna double dip, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean simultaneous release for Yu-Gi-Oh would mean no more TCG exclusives. Period.
Exactly.
And like you said, if the site, and also if Konami was at a point where they were doing simultaneous release for Yu-Gi-Oh, they wouldn't have to worry about the set not doing well here, because people would be buying it day one because they don't know what it's going to do. But the thing is, you'd have to freeze frame Japan and say stop producing sets and let's catch up.
Yeah.
Or you have to release everything at once here.
Which they're kind of doing with us.
Well,
in Buddy Fight.
Yeah.
Or Vanguard, in Vanguard.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a set every month for the next 6 months. Have fun.
Yeah. My wallet's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Brandon, you run a card shop, correct?
Yeah.
What is the response to when people come in and buy sets? Do you have a lot of pre-orders? Do you have people going, I only want this specific card?
We get a little bit of everything. We got a couple people who, most of our groups, they pull together and buy cases. They split up what they like, and then they trade what they don't like. That's almost been how our market has been ran the entire time. When we first started, we might have Cal who gets 3 or 4 boxes. His girlfriend who gets 3 or 4 boxes. I'll open, 3 or 4 boxes.
Oh, God damn it! 3 or 4 boxes of what?
Stop to the right, because every time his head goes to the right, it just seems to freeze.
Yeah, just keep his head to the left, please.
All
There
right.
we go.
Yeah,
3
that
more
makes
boxes
sense.
was the last words. No, he's gone again! I saw him back. I know I did. All right, well, we'll move
I
on.
want to know what his store primarily is. Like, what is the game played at Collectible Investments?
Now we need to know.
I'm there all the time, so I can answer questions about it.
Yeah, I mean, is it a Yu-Gi-Oh shop? Is it a Magic shop? Is it a Vanguard shop? I mean, what is it?
For the majority, I would say it's mostly known for being a Yu-Gi-Oh store, but it's also like very well known as like the Vanguard store. It was like obviously the first one we had in Michigan to sell it. I think Michigan. It was also one of the first stores in the U.S. outside of like New York that started selling Vanguard. Yeah, like it has Magic. I don't really see the Magic scene very much. Than I am.
Roboto missing. Oh,
Yeah.
He's Michigan.
There we go.
Internet connection, man.
Yeah, we're in Detroit.
Oh God, you're
Brett-
lucky.
Looks like
Did we lose everybody here?
yeah, I'm here. Everyone there?
I'm here. Can everyone?
Technical difficulties today.
John, you didn't pay your bill, did you?
Sir. Brandon, are you there?
I can hear you at least.
Okay, there we go. Jason, you there?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, you there?
Tyler, me.
No.
Yeah, I'm here.
Kyle. Okay, and Blake, are
Yeah.
you there? All right, we're back. All right. With that slight interruption, let's talk about the next thing. Actually, I want to skip a few things here and talk about actually Buddy Fight and Weiss Wars. You know, how are those and your guys' areas doing? How are those games doing at your store?
As far as Weiss is concerned, it's a kind of a small market currently. We got about 10 off and on players.
What are you
Pretty
doing?
good. Trent is still pretty good player blade.
Yeah. And for Buddy Fight, we got about 5 or 6.
That's even better than ours.
Yeah. I think that the number one thing that Bushiroad needs to do is they need to work on their marketing game. Like their marketing right now doesn't seem as strong enough, and it's not reaching target audience. As far as my opinion, like I'm right across the school from a middle school and high school, and none of them are hearing about any of these games. They go Vanguard, that looks cool, but what is it? Oh, White Swords. Oh yeah, I heard of Kill I Kill, but what is it? Oh, I didn't know what Kill I Kill made a card game.
Yeah,
No, I completely agree with that. I work in a high school. I run the gamers club, and like there's some kids who play Magic, there's some kids who play Yu-Gi-Oh, and then everyone else plays League of Legends.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like I tried being like, "Hey, you guys want to check out Buddy Fight?" They're like, "Buddy what?" Like, yeah, I know it's the name gets a lot of people the first time around. Even my friends.
Yeah.
Hey, Future Court Buddy Fight. And they're like, "Yeah, no, thank you." Like,
Brandon, do you play Buddy Fight at all?
Yeah, I have a Magic World deck. I have a whatever, the Dragon World.
Kyle thinks
is
it's
that-
all amusing.
No, my wife keeps like picking on me while I'm doing this.
Yeah, I was thinking she's probably doing something for you while you're doing.
Now
Jake
we
looks like
got
a schoolgirl.
a different kind of we got a different kind of Skype hangout call now.
Hey, as long as it's not on camera, it's okay.
So Brandon, like, do you ever see yourself going to like one of the regionals or like for like Wise or Buddy Fight?
If they're within reason, yes. I do love both of those games. I feel like all of Bushiroad's games were made for me.
They made him with Brandon Smith in mind.
They were.
Yeah, they were. They were.
They were like, how do we make Brandon happy? Give
Yeah.
him more games.
Yeah, they were made with me in mind. When I demoed Buddy Fight before it actually came out. And at first my first opinion was I didn't like it. I was just like, man, this Impact card is stupid.
Our
Stupid
substantial
good.
Punisher.
Yeah, it's
Stupid good.
All right, so you just lose. You can't negate it. Good game. You thought this was a game? Yeah, you're out of here. Next match, and it was like best of one, and I was like, oh, this is looking like Vanguard, but like with a kill card that you can't stop. I was a little bit turned off, but that was in the demo
At least they
when they were
changed the best of one thing around.
Yeah, that was in the demo when they were just getting things together. Now actually playing the game, I think the game has a lot of depth and a lot of like room to grow, and I actually like the buddy fight.
Do you like buddy fight over Y Schwartz?
Of course I do.
You do?
I do. Of course I do.
Over
Really?
Wise.
Over Wise.
Over Weiss.
Not the milk place.
Yeah, not over Wise.
Yeah, not over Wise. Over
That's a
Wise.
Chicago.
Oh, you guys aren't talking about ice cream?
Oh, okay. Over Wise.
Favorite flavor, go.
Rock and roll.
So no, really though, I'm shocked because when we saw you on the Queen Mary, you were 100% into Weiss Wars.
Well, buddy fight hadn't come out.
But
Yeah,
it
I mean,
wasn't-
but like, it was one of those games where, and like, what is your reasoning for that? I lost again every time.
He turned his head to the right again, guys.
It's
Oh
a
my
motion
God.
sensor. You gotta stop talking from the right. All right, well,
I guess from his
you
angle it'd be the left, but still.
play Buddy Fighter Weiss Schwartz.
Okay, so can you guys
Okay,
hear me?
wait,
Yeah,
hold
he's
on.
back. He's
There he
back.
is.
Okay, we'll get back to Kyle in a minute, but Brandon's back, and we only get him for like 5 minutes. So,
Okay.
So why do you prefer Buddy Fight over Wise? Because when we last saw you, like, I mean, again, Jason was right, the game was not out yet, but
Yeah.
why do you prefer that game over Wise?
Okay, so Weiss is kind of like Vanguard, some of the things, and I do like the mechanics of it. And like I said, they made all these games for me, so like I'm a fan of all of them. However, Buddy Fight is a very, very, very fast-paced game, and like making a misplay, like turn 3, you might lose the game. So like I like games that punish people for making misplays. It's similar to how chess is played or any other game of so making misplays. I like when you can where you get punished for making misplays, and it's not everything's not automatic.
Yeah. Do you like see with like Buddy Fight coming out? Like, what direction does Bushiroad need to take the game? Because obviously we've talked about the name, talked about marketing. Like,
Okay.
what's their next step? Do you think it needs the show? Like, where some people say, "Oh, if I wish it was on Nickelodeon or whatever, it would be better." Do you feel that's a thing to make the game better?
I'm not sure if having card games on TV is played out. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh did it. Whatever the other game is, Kajudo.
Yu-Gi-Oh did it though, and then they didn't even
Don't
like
even let
put
them
half the
try
cards
to-
into the sets that released.
Yeah, that's
It was like
true.
separate from the game. Like, I still want my Fairy Tale Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes,
Bro.
but like, I don't know how the market is for kids who watch, these animes on TV, and for their response to come out to actually go want to buy the cards. I know when I was like 14, 15 or whatever, and I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, I was very excited to go out and actually find out that was a game that I can actually play and participate and meet other people. But I don't know what the consensus is currently. I'm pretty sure that Bushiroad has some people that are on the marketing staff to find out if they can soak a bunch of money into that and if it will pay off. But there's hardly any commercials for any.
He turned his face to the right.
Yeah, Bushiroad has somebody doing marketing, and that person's probably doing 2 or 3 other jobs as well. I mean,
Yeah, especially in our market. Like, I don't understand why they do that. Kyle, do you play Buddy Fighter Wise?
I don't play either of them. I've played them and I know how they work, and I like Buddy Fight more than I like Weiss.
Like, do you think like the long-term investment, like I think Wise is probably the more expensive of all their games. I mean,
Yes.
I hear so much about Wise Schwartz players not wanting to like trade their stuff for low. Like, I don't know what the consensus is on that. So like, is Wise their money game, but Vanguard's their main game, and Buddy Fight's like maybe that thing that'll one day be better? Do you guys feel that way?
I don't think that Buddy Fight will be better than Vanguard.
Okay.
I think that Vanguard is probably their overall like winning game. Like I think that's going to be their overall winner. I think they're pushing Buddy Fight to, eventually take the spot. But I do think that currently that Cardfight Vanguard is their better game. Weiss, however, does have a humongous following, just not in our area. So that's another reason why I think it contributes to Buddy Fight being slightly more popular and favorable.
Yeah.
But all of them, like I said, all of them are great games, and I love them all. So, but if I had to choose, it'd be Card Fight, number one, because the game's amazing. That's why we're all here. The game's amazing. Buddy Fight, number two, because I can find more matches of Buddy Fight in my area, and like I said, as far as playing the game, it's a very fast-paced game. But also the faster the game, with so little room for error, means that we're gonna, you have a higher skill cap or skill level, and in that game, like Vanguard, the better player will probably win about 80% of the time.
It's so funny because they biggest thing when me and Jason we went to the press conference in Chicago that they had about a year ago. Their big thing was this is for kids, like this is meant for kids, like.
Bullshit.
They could say that, but no games. I mean, like, okay, so all games are meant for kids. However, kids won't be the one that's winning the tournaments. Basically, what's going to happen is the games are made for kids, and they're going to draw the younger audience. And then somebody of like the 22, 23, 24 age range is going to win, and they're going to become a humongous role model for that game. And a lot of people are going to look up to that person and go to them for advice and whatnot. And then the kids are going to, try to follow in that guy's footsteps. That's how all these games work. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, it was made for kids. But if you look at who's winning, you have Jeff Jones, who's like a household name throughout every country, in this world, is a dominant player. And people are going to look up to him for that,
Yeah.
Do you feel Buddy Fight, any of you guys feel Buddy Fight should go a little more like the Pokemon route? Do you feel like in order to get kids to play it, or like they should separate it by age and tier?
I think they should do that for all their games, but I don't think they have enough people to do it. That's the problem. Like if you were going to separate out, like look at the Tennessee regionals for Vanguard. I mean, they had 124 people. And of those people, how many kids were under the age of 13 or 14?
Exactly.
My son being one of them. I mean, and then there was probably, he still went 5-1 against, the whole day against the 24-year-olds and all these other people. I mean, I just don't think that the game has enough people playing it to do that kind of a segregation. Of course, I know I just said that word in live. Poor choice of words. Separation.
Froze again. Turn his head to the right.
Good, I can't.
Sorry.
I won't get his response.
Just tell me when you guys can hear me.
There we go.
We can hear you.
All right.
Question:
So
did you hear me?
yeah, I heard you. So the thing about segregating like the kids from the adults is and as far as any of these tournaments, like you said, I agree that.
Oh no! What do you agree with?
Having with you.
I'll just fill in the blanks every time he pauses.
There we go. I know he says he can hear us. I'm so sorry, Brandon. just shoot us when you get back on.
If I won a big card fight tournament and I was a role model for kids, they would follow me to the Chinese buffet.
You could be like a billboard though. How big you are, like you could put all.
I am.
sponsors
Every
in
time I
it.
wear a fucking T-shirt, people will come up to
There
me.
you go. You could happen.
Yeah,
All right, Brandon. There you are. You're back.
I thought Jason wasn't allowed 500 feet away from him school.
I don't know what you said, Blake, but I'll get you back later.
For that. All right. So what I want to talk about, I actually want to do a giveaway here. Like, I want to do a giveaway. Let's do that. Let's give away some sleeves. Let's see here. What should we do? Let's see here. Because I want to talk about Stride next, the Stride mechanic next, but I want to do a giveaway. Make people go crazy. There we go.
We never got Brandon's response to I agree with the whole separation thing. But
all right, finish that while I figure out why we figure out the sleeves.
All right, so I agree with you as far as the separation thing goes, that the numbers right now aren't large enough. But in addition, if a 10-year-old or 11-year-old was to win, then it would be very hard for that person to go on to the next level. Like, it would be harder for a 10-year-old to go out of country or to the next stage of following a world championship tournament than it would be for somebody that's, of legal consent to cross the border. And it would be a lot, extremely expensive if Bushiroad had to pay for 4 plane tickets or 3 plane tickets so a 10-year-old can go compete in Japan or wherever. And also addition to like the cost of passports or whatnot, it just seems like it'll be a little.
I wouldn't expect Bushiroad to pay for people's passports.
They wouldn't pay for passports, but I'm just saying for just the overall cost.
Yeah, if somebody, if somebody is under the age of 18, if like a 17-year-old wins an event, do they pay for a parental plane ticket? Well, right now, yeah, and that makes sense. And you don't see it happen all the time, but it does happen from time to time. And
yes,
I guess if they were gonna do a separation of ages, like how like Yu-Gi-Oh did the whole dragon thing, dragon duels or whatever they did. It was like 13 and under, or Pokemon does different things. I mean, they could stop it at like this, at the country level, I guess. They could say this is a national level rather. Like, okay, you guys made it to the national championships. Congratulations, you're the national champion. Okay, you do not. There is no world champion for the youth division, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. But then, and also because Vanguard, especially for Vanguard, they run their season during the school year, so it's also kind of hard for kids to get out of school. Like what parent's gonna say, yeah, it's fine that you skip like a week out of school so you can go compete in this card game tournament. So
I would. I would.
All right,
card players.
Yeah, you're a fighter by heart.
He got out of school on Friday to go with us down to Tennessee.
Yeah, true.
But like we're card players.
I'm a bad parent now.
No, like we're card players. So when you get,
we lost him again. He turned his head to the right, damn it.
So here we're gonna say, so when you get people whose parents aren't card players and don't want to support them, that just stinks.
Right. This is my chance to do this. Okay, so what I've done, if you guys are watching this, which I know there's a variety of people watching this right now, there's 27 viewers. If you're watching this, please go to one of the many, many Team 2 Exceed logos that I've posted all throughout Facebook. If you're watching, comment your name, the sleeves that you want to win. There's Alfred, Rebirth, and Drag Ruler. Comment your name.
Right now.
I will enter you into an auto drawing through randomizer, and then you guys will get on there. I will be giving all three of these away.
Am I eligible?
No, I know. Well, Kyle and Brandon, I know your guys' names, but yeah, you guys are not eligible. I already supply you with things. So, but if you're on Facebook right now, please go on there and comment your name, which sleeves you want. All three will be given away. I'll be doing a randomizer only. Again, those who I absolutely love it. So thanks for watching. All right, let's talk about. I want to talk about Stride. Okay, who are you? Everyone caught up with what we've seen. So Brandon Smith has left the conference. He has left.
He
You insulted him. You told him he couldn't win the contest, John. And Brandon Smith wants to win everything.
No.
He's a competitor, man. He wants to.
Guy, here's what happened. You know, it froze every time he turned slightly to the right. He must have like just fully.
I totally thought you just did it. I totally thought Blake just went. You just okay. By the way, my Facebook is just bombing right now. So what I want to talk about is Stride. So
for you.
I want to talk about Stride. I want to talk about like what we have seen so far. Like, have you guys looked into this, Kyle? Have you guys seen some of the crazy things?
I don't think it's appropriate to talk about Stride without Brandon here because I really wanted to ask him his opinion.
Well, he said he was going to come back in. I just read his side thing here. Good, bad, or ugly? Like, what do you guys think about the mechanic? Blake, we'll start with Blake.
I think it's a cool thing how Stride in general getting a grade 4 for one turn, then it goes back. What I don't seem to get is every time you supposedly stride, it says put it face down. So how are you supposed to be able to get its skill if it's face down?
They start face down in the pile.
Oh my God!
They go back to the deck face up.
Yeah,
and then once you use it, it goes back face up, so you can't use it again.
Skip. Next person.
Right?
Wow.
What?
Well, okay, he's just done. Okay, Jason, what do you think about Stride? From what I know you know.
Well, like we were saying, is you get this pile. My question about Stride is, when you do go grab a card from the face down pile, do you get to look at the card you're grabbing, or do you just grab whatever card's on the top? I mean, how does that work exactly?
I think you pick.
I think you pick.
I don't know if it's random. I think you just pick. But I wonder if it's random because it says. I mean, you have a pile of cards, and you're supposed to put them back face up, which means I think you can't use them anymore once they're face up. However, I know that there are Stride units that count the number of face up G units, basically. So I think it's a very interesting mechanic. I think that. It will add. I mean, if people still want to play with the older cards, you can still use Stride cards with an older deck. It's not like you need new cards to play with it because it's basically adding a whole new phase to the game. After the ride phase, you thou stride phase kind of thing. So I mean, they have an opportunity to link older decks to the newer mechanic.
Yeah.
Depending on what they do. Also, the other thing I really like is the fact that the unit gains the name of one of the hearts inside the soul. Your soul becomes a heart. The Vanguard becomes a heart. If it's a Legion, they both become a heart. And then the Stride unit is the heart plus, the heart name plus the unit itself's name. So you'll get effects of rear guards that rely on the names being there.
Yeah.
Like
the sub-clan
sub-clan things. So. I think it's really interesting. I think it's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna make a game-breaking impact, but I think the whole idea of an extra deck is really cool.
Awesome. Kyle, what are your thoughts on Stride?
I think it is probably going to end up being like as big a deal as like Legion is in terms of like how it changes things. Like, I feel like it's just going to be like if you don't have Stride cards in your deck, you might not be able to compete on the competitive level. Like. The fact that, like, whenever you find yourself in a crappy situation, you can always just, like, now I never, ever have, like, dead grade 3s in my hand. I can always just use them Stride.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference. And the triple drive, I think, is the big part of it to consider.
Yeah. I mean, especially with OTT.
What's going on? We froze up again?
What happened to John?
Yeah.
John's freezing up. Did he turn his head to the right?
What happened, John? Why you freeze? Is the stream frozen?
It looks like he's trying to sneeze.
Achoo!
Achoo!
I just feel like...
Oh, there he is.
He was there for like a second.
Oh, God. John, we can't hear a goddamn word you're saying. Oh, and he's bowed out. Okay, Blake, take over the stream.
Okay, so guys, why'd the chicken cross the road?
Oh, did he turn to the right?
Oh God, you're terrible.
I didn't turn to the right. I'm good.
No, I think the whole triple drive thing is really good. The other thing I was going to say is, yeah, like, I do think this will change the way people mulligan, because, getting the extra, getting like 2 grade 3s in your hand isn't such a bad thing anymore, because that one grade 3 will net you, 2 more cards when you discard. Hello? Kyle, you there?
Hi, Demi. What did you say?
Yeah, this is fucked. Oh, we got Robbie back in here now.
Hey.
I didn't even know Robbie left.
Dude, you haven't been paying attention.
No, I completely forgot that he left.
What's up, Robbie?
We're still live. Where'd John go?
He's having technical
busy at the moment.
Oh, okay.
What's your opinion on Stride?
My opinion on Stride, it's a really broken mechanic that is decently okay for the game.
That's a generic statement.
Yo, since John's gone, does that mean I can jack his stream?
No.
John would always like you to jack his stream.
Oh,
Oh shit!
I don't think there's anything that John
shit! John's back,
wouldn't
guys.
let
I
him
have to run in.
I got disconnected. I became Brandon Smith.
Yo, I came back just in the nick of time, just to insult you and steal your stream.
No, thank you. Now leave. Go.
No.
No, what the fuck happened? Like,
he's talking about Stride, something that you weren't able to do because you got disconnected.
No, my voice was so powerful, the internet shut down for me. I was done.
Shut up.
I couldn't even talk about it.
Yo, I was telling Jonathan what fucking Stride was gonna be, and he's like, "That doesn't sound right, Robbie."
What the fuck are you talking? Excuse me. Every time you get in this call, I was the first one sitting here going, Stride is gonna be one of those things where it's gonna get more complex than what they have showed it for.
Well, it does. I mean, we have those vanilla units is what we're getting free in the box, and then this, obviously we have units with effects coming out then after.
I think John is missing the point that Gear. John, you're still missing the point that Gear Chronicles are going to get to take an extra turn for like Counterblast 2, like set 18.
I thought they only got the extra turn for Counterblast 4, and you had to have 4 different grades.
Yeah, it's really hard to pull off.
Yeah, 4 different grades.
But that's going to be like his ace, like later on in the show. Like he's just going to get to take fucking an extra turn for like Counterblast 2.
Yeah, well, okay, so it's Counterblast 4.
Yeah, but right what I'm saying is there's going to be a different unit with a similar effect. It's going to happen.
I want the unit that stacks. Like, let's do this whole stacking effect, because how else is that card going to be worth $20, or is it going to be worth $5?
Well, here's the problem: is that it's a very slim chance you're going to get all 4 different grades in the damn.
It's like hitting a straight.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk statistics because that's not my thing, but
we need Alice. We need.
I don't think that you're going to get to take another turn with that guy that often. 0, 1.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can stack.
Yeah, can you?
Play OTT, I guess, and there you go.
And what? Wait 20 turns to hit your stack?
Well, you don't wait 20 turns. You run the damn sentinels that I forget what the hell they're called.
Quintet.
Run quintet. Get through your stack faster.
So did Brandon Smith just like die?
Yeah, he triple drive to the right too many times.
I don't know what the hell.
He got whiplash.
I become Brandon Smith. Brandon's a short white guy. Alright. Okay, but let's talk about like some of these Gear Chronicles, because there are literally a combination where you are not allowed to guard with anything. There is a combination that can be pulled where you can't guard with grade 0s or grade 1s.
You talking about the Chrono Jet Dragon?
Yes. Is that fair? Like, is that allowed? Like late game triple drive check a unit where you can't do anything?
Jonathan, was Blaster Joker fair?
What's that?
Was Blaster Joker fair when they released him? Was Dober
Blaster Joker you can guard with?
Yeah, but I mean,
guard against him. Like, there's literally a combination that says you can't guard.
Yeah, but this is just the point of the power, the fucking power creep in the game now. I mean,
Well, you would have had to have strided though twice to get that effect.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, like if you were able to perfect guard once, perfect guard twice, and then bam, third time is the charm, and you still can't guard. Like, does that not seem anti-Vanguard?
no.
Cry about it.
I'm not crying
Yeah,
about it. I'm
cry
just
some
saying,
more.
is strides?
I think it's a worthwhile question.
It
I
is.
feel like,
I don't know, like,
Yeah,
as Robbie says, like, some things seem unfair at first. Like, I remember when we saw Gloria Maelstrom the first time, people were like, that's kind of stupid. But, I don't know. Like, I see Robbie's point, but also the idea of not being a guard sounds really dumb.
like in attack, like it's okay when you have an effect that says you can't guard with grade 1s or above because you just hold on to your grade 0s. The ability to have both effects go off, where you can't guard anything, it just sounds to me it's not necessarily fair. It just sounds a little overpowering.
You can guard. You just have to intercept. You'll have to like run really good interceptors.
Yeah. Triple track checking against three interceptors that become 10k shields. That's basically
Again,
your
the quintet wall.
Quintet Tall is a grade 1. You can't use it.
No, you don't call the quintet wall to the guardian circle from your
Once this is placed in the guardian circle, you counterblast 1 and you reveal the top 5 cards.
I thought it was put in the. My bad.
No, I wish it was like that because it obviously would make it better.
You gotta remember, like, if something like this is that powerful, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them making another game mechanic and a couple more sets.
Yeah, they'll make new sentinels that do different things.
I mean, that's good. That's like that would I feel like get a grade 0 that becomes a nullify.
What if one thing the game doesn't actually have yet is a sentinel that powers down your opponent's Vanguard, like reduce damage by like 30,000 or something specific like that. I mean, it's definitely something that could be an option because I mean we have plenty of Murakami units to do something like that, I believe.
And
My
that
wife
allows
just
your
said
Vanguard to
something interesting.
counterattack.
My wife said, "What if they make a gradeless card?
A gradeless?
Like a gradeless card that can block."
They'll just do large.
And why don't they just call that card a spell card while they're at it too?
Yeah, right.
Mm.
I'm saying Lark Visions all the way. Pull from the soul and it becomes a guardian.
Oh, there you go. That would be great. You want to ride those?
Pale Moon's ahead of its time.
It's true.
The Gear Chronicles are from the dimensional.
The Dark Zone.
The Dark Road.
Zone? I'll show you my dark zone.
I don't.
I bet you will.
I'm fine. Anywho, and it gets a crit though too. The card that says you can't guard with grade 0s, it gets a crit, and then Chrono Jet gets 5,000. Just ridiculous. Like the combination would be very scary and fun. I want to play test that, but Gear Chronicles overall, so far from what you guys have seen, has it been impressive? Not impressive? Is this something that again a main character shouldn't have?
I think it's okay so far. Like, I don't think it's, like, over the top. I don't think it's bad either.
I actually think it's balanced.
Okay. I mean,
Do
we
we
also
know any of the other cards that are coming out for like other decks or other people's, from the new stuff?
Well, we know that the Nova Grapplers, that's like a whole lot of restanding again with giving powers. We know OTTs about drawing, and I can't remember if they give power or not. I know it's a lot of like hand advantage.
They've always been about that though. Like, what's the surprise?
Yeah, but like, there's no surprises though. I mean, they're going back to the basics, which is nice.
The whole Gear Chronicle thing doesn't sound fucking basic to me.
That's a new clan. That's a basic now for them.
Yeah. They're
basic. Like 18, they'll get like some crazy brokenness.
Their basic is rape now.
You guys were talking about generic stuff. I mean, let's talk about Cray Elementals as like their own archetype. Like, what if it becomes possible to build an entirely unthemed deck just through Cray Elementals at some point?
I think that'd be hot shit. Because it's different.
Because I mean, right now we're still focused on you have to play within your clan, but the Cray Elementals, break that mold. So
yeah. Interesting. I mean, I mean, the Cray Elementals. I really wish they had effects based on that region, like that area. Like if they're Elemental of Kagero or the Dragon Nation, give it a little like Dragon Nation like feel to it, like
Yeah.
Retire 1. Like, but they didn't. It's all the same. It's like, okay, you get a triple drive check. I mean, with extra decks, if you're playing around a deck, it's great because you can use those units and not use your big guys. But I don't really know. Mr. Smith's back. Oh.
Yeah, he's been lingering for a little while.
Oh no, Mr. Smith, I took your job. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I dropped you for a while.
It's okay.
What are your thoughts on Stride, sir?
I think they're like I said, I'm a fan of progression in the game. I think they're okay. It's kind of hard. It's kind of tough to say. I haven't play tested enough. It does seem, I don't know. In some instances, it seems really crazy, and then at the same time, not so much. I don't know. It seems kind of crazy actually, but whatever.
Crazy.
We should probably talk about those grade 1s that count as the full cost of Stride, too.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, like, the ability to discard it and get the 3. I mean, and it seems like they're going again. They're adding 8Ks again. They're adding 10Ks. They're adding. Well, they've already had 10Ks, but I mean, 8K grade 1s, and then you add that. Like, I feel like, again, the whole deck route they're going with is going to be so focused on Stride or Generation Break. That's, like, the new thing. Like, there's no longer Subclan. There's all, let's get ready for Stride.
You know, since we're talking about Stride and things like that, Brandon Smith, what do you think they can give to Great Nature as a Stride that wouldn't be the same thing as that Master that is banned, your grade 4? What do you think that they'll do for you guys in terms of a Stride unit?
For Great Nature?
Yeah, for Great Nature.
Power things up, they die, you draw. I don't know.
Now he's looking down and he's passed out.
He's sleeping.
No, like, why can we just can't have our grade 4?
Yeah, Sylvis would be awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, what is that, by the way? Is that what animal would you say that
I knew we were going to go to
Can I ask you what you feel that creature is?
John, that should be the
I
next
remember that.
giveaway. Guess which animal it is.
Without looking at it, tell us what it is.
I have to say like a cat. I think it's a rabbit. Whatever.
It's a jackal.
We did a huge, what was it, like 160, 180, Blake? What was the comments?
Oh, dude, it depends. Which time do we post it? We posted like 6 times and got over 100 each time.
Ultimately, we turned him. It was a lynx. It's a lynx.
It's a lynx. All right.
Yeah, it's a lynx.
To me,
like
it's gonna
everything. Yeah, it's a cat.
It's gonna be like it's a cat.
Okay.
It's a cat.
To me, it's a cat.
All right. Well, that's good to know. It's tried in Chrono. Now, see, I'm being corrected here about the Chrono Jack. Apparently, only one is Generation Break 2. It gets that effect. It does not give that effect.
Yeah.
Literally, someone says they're ripping out their hair right now. I feel so bad, Matthew. Sorry. Don't be bald because of me.
Do it.
Blaster Joker is good against Mega. What the hell? I'm reading through all these things. What was my... I'm going back to our agenda here. Stride, Buddy Fight, we've actually gone through quite a bit. I'm going to go through the questions from the chat, but... Brandon, last week I asked this. What is a clan that you feel needs support right now?
Right now?
Like, what is going to make a clan better, like, right now to put it into, like, the correct meta, where, like, we're not just giving it a card.
Did we lose him?
I don't know. How about you, Kyle?
He
What
turns
is-
into the right.
What
Clan do I think needs help right now?
Yeah, what clan do you think it needs help right now? Like, obviously we know things, but, like, they just announced Generation 2, which was Neonectar, not Grand Blue, Aqua Force, Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladins. It had Narcomi in there. I'm sure I'm forgetting one other one, but like, what other clan? Like, if
like I said, Grand Blue. It's like my number one on the list that needs to get a rework.
needs to get like getting dropped.
Probably like. I would say Mega Colony needs help.
Yeah, Mega Colony.
They need like damage on flippers and.
You're gonna make a lot of people happy right now.
Like, if there was a draw trigger for them that could move to soul and unflip damage, I wouldn't complain. I'd be like, they deserve that.
Yep. Do you feel? Do you feel they need like a cross ride? Like, do you think they need that 13K base?
I don't think a 13K base is necessarily what Mega Colony needs. The clan used to be the game's stall deck, and it wasn't even good then. And then there was Link Joker, who just does what they do, but better. So they came up with that break ride, and it's fantastic. And the machinings have like good things going on for them, but it's still not enough. So if you're trying really hard to like a clan, and it's still not enough.
I think we're losing him here. I don't know what's going on.
Why couldn't they just make the break
Can you
ride
hear me?
machining?
There we go. Yeah, well, I mean, like all these other stuff
Seriously.
got break rides that were their sub clan. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Why the fuck not Mega Colony? Cyclomatooth. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, he's a really great card, but he's not enough.
Yeah, if he was a machining, he'd be that much better, though.
I agree to that.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a simple thing they could have done.
I mean, truly, I don't understand why they haven't like just said, "Hey, we're gonna give you." I mean, even the Legion was like so-so. It wasn't even that great.
Yeah,
Like,
their Legion is really subpar because there's only like 6 cards in the deck he can hit and go off on.
yeah, I mean, like they should just said the moment this Legion, your opponent's Vanguard cannot restand.
Yeah, that would have, and even then, that would have been like pretty decent. It would have been like overpowered or anything.
No, but at least you're hitting for huge numbers against a unit that couldn't come back and hit you again.
Yeah, unless they, of course, just ride you. And but now if it said something like your opponent can't stand their Vanguard and they're not allowed to ride, that would be another story.
Oh, that would be pretty broken. Brandon, you say Grand Blue, which they did get support just recently.
Yeah, Night Snow is pretty good.
Not even Snow, like their Legion units are pretty like they're I mean they got some pretty decent Legion stuff.
Yeah,
The
but
Green
like,
2 who revives, and
yeah, what they do isn't good enough. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it just doesn't seem good enough. Sure, you can rotate attackers, you can bring guys back, but like, I don't know. I just feel like that's not enough. And then it kind of feels like also Darker Regulars got left behind a lot. So, I mean, like, sure, they got a break ride, they got a cross ride, whatever, a cross break ride, whatever, all that other good stuff, but it just doesn't seem like it's adding up to victories on that clan's behalf, or even tournament appearances.
I mean, they did top a little bit in Japan with the reverse unit.
the Amon reverse, I remember that.
It just never happened here.
Yeah. Like, everybody has their like, everybody knows what's gonna happen, and like these underplayed clans really do need to get a little bit more showing at tournaments. That's partially why I played Great Nature last season instead of like Dope. You know, just something that was a surefire thing, because I did feel like, yeah, while Dope was probably the stronger of the decks, I wanted to bring something alternative to the table that can, you know, potentially just, you know, shake some stuff up, and you know, I did pretty good, so I'm not upset at the outcome, but
Yeah.
in the same token, like, they're not a lot. These aren't heavily represented clans at tournaments. Therefore, I feel like in order to make them more fair, to play and more desirable to play, they need more cards. Kagero gets cards every set, no matter what. You know, Royals just recently, out of the last like 6 sets, didn't get cards, or 5 sets, or whatever it's been. You know,
And then they
weren't getting cards like every single set. You know, but Kagero still, you know, they find a way to sneak a couple cards in there to, you know, change the game. Then they got their own extra booster, whatever. So, like, you know, like, when does other champions, or sorry, League of Legends mode, when do other decks get their, you know, their time to shine, or, you know, because it's been a long time for, like, even like OTT. When did OTT get like their time to shine, where they get like realistic, you know, grades, and, like, you know, where, like, you know, yeah, sure, sometimes broken. We all know that. But, like, how does Silent Time compare when everything's, you know, just outside of his range? Or, sure, they have to guard harder, but when they attack, you know, you can't guard Earth. You have to guard so hard that it's not even worth.
Special attacker Silent Tom.
Mm-hmm.
He boosts up to like 12k.
Yeah. Oh no, hell no. That'd be broken.
12k Silent Tom. Not.
No, that'd be broken. But, like, maybe
Still,
you can't.
we don't have a grade 4 on top for Kagero.
Maybe. Yeah, it's just like, it seems like some of these clans, like, slowly got cycled out, which is fine. But at some point, you want to bring them back, you know.
Well, OTT is slightly coming back. We've seen some stuff from the new set, so I'm happy about that. Again, I think any unit that can triple drive and have Tom on the field is very scary.
When was the last time we saw freaking Angel Feather support?
Well, set 13, and we haven't seen it again.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I said that the last live stream that Angel Feathers deserve support, because I feel like they're one of those clans that could do a very great job of consistent. I mean, it's just an extension of your hand, the damage zone. It's like, it's so good from that respect. Like, okay, I don't need this. I'll put this here and put this here. You're really gonna have to. They're gonna really have to up the par on that, up the game on that.
I don't like the direction they took Angel Feathers. They kind of changed. You went from like Metatron, which was like this great combo deck that was like really good. You could hit good numbers. You had like lots of options, and then they've changed it into more of like just a beatdown. You still have the options of toolboxing with your damage, but it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, it's pretty true.
Metatron was like really fun and combo-y, and then they went to Zachariah and it's just beatdown.
All right. I'm gonna open the floor here to any of you guys. Oh no, Jason. What clan deserves you have not answered this question. What clan deserves support right now?
Oh, right now?
If they were to announce something tomorrow, what clan deserves support? Like, in your opinion, what clan would it be?
I mean, I have to agree with Kyle, Mega Colony. I mean, if I wasn't going to say Mega Colony, it'd probably be New Batama. They need to bring back some of the, like, hardcore New Batama cards that they initially released, and, like, you know, what they had initially planned for that clan was really fucking good. And if they would have just stuck with it, I mean, you'd have seen a whole different, you know, meta of things being played. You know, but they scaled it back and they made it, you know, the whole bind zone thing and whatnot, and it's just not the same.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone want to bring up a topic? I got a couple of questions here on the chat here. I want to bring up. I know a couple of you guys got to go, but I want to just do a couple of these unless you guys want to talk about something.
How about the Bears?
The Bears.
What Brandon said about Dark Regulars, there's one thing I've been meaning to mention. Why does Pale Moon with Silver Thorns get to hit Soul Charge, not blindly? Like, you get to pick what you Soul Charge, but Dark Regulars don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But the focus, though, with Silver Thorns or Pale Moon in general was always having specific units in the soul, whereas Dark Irregulars was always about power creep Soul Charge.
But then they had cards from, like, set 7 that were like, you need this in soul. So they did kind of do it. Not exactly like Pale Moon, but I always thought that was unfair that Dark Irregulars had to be blind, but Pale Moon got to, like, with, like, the Beast Tamer and stuff, they have these great you build your soul, but you get to thin the deck and keep your triggers in it too.
Yeah. Whereas,
Well, I think like the direction Dark Irregulars are going. Is Brandon there? Did we lose him? He went to the right again.
Oh my god.
He's not learning.
Far right.
That's gonna
They
be
now have the
removal.
ability to take out a unit from their soul that's a grade 0, soul charge 2 more. So what I like about that is like if you are in a Legion deck, you put those zeros back in that you're missing your effectiveness. Like, okay, I soul charge this, I soul charge this, I soul blast, and look, now I have 4 crit triggers to put back into the deck. That's how I feel like, and it kind of helps, but also at the same point, it does hurt. When we get Brandon back, let's see here. I'm gonna ask it. How sweaty are you guys right now? That is a question. That is a question on this chat here. How sweaty are you?
I may look sweaty, but I'm not sweaty right now. I'll let you know if I get there.
Am I perspiring? Like, am I like?
John, you're always perspiring.
Oh man.
I'm wearing a hoodie, and it's relatively cold in my apartment, so.
yeah,
I can't believe out of all the questions you could ask some good minds here. How sweaty are you?
We don't have good minds. We have dirty, dirty minds.
Someone asked what is the best deck in the meta after November 21st. We've already said that. We all thought it was going to be Shadow Paladins. Mega Colony deserves a better starting Vanguard. I agree.
Absolutely.
A lot of Mega Colony. I told you were going to make a lot of people happy with the Mega Colony.
Mega Colony!
How expensive do you think cards like Abyss, CEO, Sing Saver, Prominence Glare, Dote, and Dragon Newt will be? That is such a loaded question, though, because there's so many different cards there. I mean, like,
Vanguard's so predictable when it comes to prices.
I mean, you're talking at least $20 on any of those. Like,
Yeah.
Like at least.
That's only the price for a month, though.
Yeah, but those cards he listed are all still doing well in Japan. Like, they're all big name cards. They're not terrible cards by any means. And like, notice he did not say how much will Vera be. Didn't say that.
Yeah.
Vera, you is a beautiful card. Okay, even though clan mixing might not be a thing in America, ignoring Sing Saver Abyss, that was a deck in Japan's restrictions. What decks or cool combinations would you show up in BT16 version E? None. Why would you want to run anything mixed? They took out all the fun stuff. Now let's talk set 17, where they had Spike Brothers with Gold Paladins. That's a fun deck. What's that?
Nova Grapplers.
Nova Grappler Schmappler.
You want to fight right now, buddy?
You could use Bruno with Spike Brothers.
Your
Oh,
plan.
Bruno with Spike Brothers. Well, they also did Spike, Bloody Org or Frozen Org was like, oh, Counterblast, put this unit back, or Soul Blast, put this unit back in, call out a unit, and people are doing it with like Pelennor and stuff. So it was really.
Could you imagine if Neo Nectars had a fucking Bruno?
I care only
That'd
about
be
my
like the
America.
Musketeers.
I only care about my America. Like, she's what makes the deck go round.
Okay, but just think about it. She gets the 3K only if it's shuffled, but she only gets it once. Now think if you had a Bruno.
Yeah.
Dude,
I shuffle a lot.
I think you personally call like 7 damn things a turn.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Even Cecilia would be broken again. Call 2 units automatically. You're getting 13 or whatever it is. The boost is 3,000. Yeah, a 13K booster without even trying. Money, yeah. Favorite cards in Fighters collection aside from the 2 Legions and the Great Die Kaiser. Brendan, are you what?
Warsicle.
Warsicle, yes. Kyle, what is your favorite unit from that? From what? What? Brandon? Kyle, can you hear us?
Well, what's up?
Yeah, what's
What is
up?
your favorite unit? Oh, what's your guys' favorite unit from Fighters Collection? The new one we just got.
And what was
I like Night Snow.
Night Snow from Grand Blue.
What was the exclusions?
The Legion units and the Die Kaisers. Which I don't understand why the Great Die Kaiser, because it is a good card.
I like to say its name right before I kill somebody.
Cards are great. I hope that answers your question. Your second part was cards that may be overlooked but are playable from Fighter's collection. I'm gonna say it, Alvera from the Musketeer. Like, totally good card. Totally overlooked for Musketeer builds. So
all these cards.
I think she's really cool.
Well, they are good cards. Like, you know, like there are some that are decent. Like the Czajkowski one, I feel like, oh my god. Sack a unit, counterblast 1, give 2 units 5,000. That unit can come back. Like, it's pretty good, actually. It just doesn't get a crit like they're used to always getting. What's here? I think that's it. You guys want to talk about anything else? Do we feel like we've hit every aspect? Brandon, are you excited to come to Chicago?
I cannot wait.
Are you gonna?
Amazing.
Are you gonna be coming to Lodo's shop at all to say hello, or are you just gonna see him?
Of course I will. Of course I will. It's Mike Lodo.
It's Mike Lodo.
Every time he comes.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm for sure gonna stop there. He's my favorite store in Chicago for sure.
Man, they're hating on me for that chrono thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm only human.
It might have been me. I don't know.
Are you writing in this? Yeah, look at the fat guy there. That's not to mention Nubitama.
Jason, how do you like my beard?
I shaved mine.
Are you guys doing No Shave November? Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's what Brandon's doing.
All right. Well, awesome. I think we're going to call it an end unless someone wants to talk about something, but we've been on here for a few hours now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours. I'm good with 2 hours. I don't want to bore anyone. So biggest thing is, last but not least, and I've told people to stay on and subscribe, and we got 32 people. As some of you know, I do online challenges, area tournaments, and I have one that I want to issue right now. This is a special issue. The challenge goes out to the admins of the North America Vanguardians page, or Vanguard page. I challenge you to a 5-on-5 match. I want to take 5 of the best players from the Vanguardians against 5 of the best players in the North, and we'll have our match on area and see who wins. I feel like it would be fun for both groups to get together, and also kind of see who's the better players. Just throwing that out there right now. Awesome.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah, I challenge them. I want to see Timothy. I want to see all those guys and see who.
You're assuming they're watching this.
I think some of them, when this gets out, there's people in here I've been talking to. So if not, I'll make the special challenge and I'll cut up this little insert and put it on that page. I know Tommy Allen's watching. So Tommy, if you're there, you're an admin. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. Also, I have what's that?
Nothing.
Also, last but not least, I'm going to post in below when the video is all said and done a link for the next Vanguardians area tournament. It's the Christmas tournament I talked about. There will be details and stuff in there as well. I'm really excited about another tournament that we're doing. That is all I have. I want to, again, thank you, Mr. Smith, for coming on. I want to say Kyle for coming on. Jason and Blake, thank you guys for coming on again. And really hope you have a lot of fun with this, and thank you for helping discuss the meta.
You told me there was going to be food.
It'll be at your door any minute.
I was promised blowing hookers.
I have to send Brandon ice cream now because the way he got so excited when he talked about ice cream.
We were talking about the Overwise.
I'm gonna sit down for my gunslinger. And just put out like a big tub of Breyer's ice cream and like just say I win. Just say I win.
Right. Dude, that's a good plan.
It's all you have to do. It's all you have to do.
It's all for you, Damien.
But if anyone is watching this, make sure you please comment, subscribe, like the video, tell us what you want to see in the next one. But again, I want to thank everyone for watching and helping me out and get this fun. There will definitely be more in the future. So, with that being said, anyone else? Any final things?
Genji, there's Pedo Bear behind you.
What? Oh my God!
He's been there for 2 hours.
He's waiting for the right moment.
As soon as you hang up.
Sorry, ARAM is happening. I can't. It's all over.
All right,
Oh,
awesome.
man.
All right, well, thank you guys again for joining us, and again, everyone who's watching this video, thank you for watching. We will be doing another one in 2 weeks with special guest Alice from V Monday, so make sure you watch that. Get your popcorn ready, Michael. We are doing this. So, thank you.
V
guys.
Monday.
V Monday.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks
He's
for having
coming
me.
down.
Up with me.
Thanks for having me.
and then for those who don't realize, Robbie Kohl has gone, and he'll be back as always. But again, everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good night. Talk to you guys later. Bye.